Hi, the Lake Cane Restoration Society is a science and education nonprofit dedicated to keeping this lake swimmable, fishable, and lovable. We're, I hope, an example for the almost 700 other lakes in Central Florida that are surrounded by private property and in need of attention and care.
This is essentially an artificial reef, if you want to call it the Lake Cane Artificial Reef. The whole idea is to attract fish to the area to keep the lake fishable. We decided to do an artificial reef because there's been a lot of damage to the lake over the years. There's sludge on the bottom, which has prevented some of the plant growth, which then of course affects the fish. Having more beneficial fish there also will help get rid of the muck, but you have to start somewhere. The structure, as you can see, is on legs because there's about 8 to 12 inches of muck on the bottom, and we didn't want it to sink down into the muck. We wanted to sit above the muck so the fish had a place to go. So as far as the structures goes, it's made of several different sizes of pipes. Probably the hardest part of building the structure was actually drilling the thousands of little holes that go in it. And these holes are of different sizes as well because we want to attract different sizes of fish. Of course, the small fish attract the bigger fish, and the bigger fish attract even bigger fish. And the whole idea is if we can even make it into sort of a hatchery to where fish are actually laying and breeding around this structure. Now, we don't know if that's possible or not, but part of the development of this was to test and experiment to see if biological materials made a difference versus inert materials, and we've got all these labels. We'll be following this along with scuba underwater periodically to see what the results are. Just like having nunchuck skills, it's good to have underwater hockey skills. He is an expert both in the nunchuck and underwater hockey, which is invaluable in placing this at the bottom of the lake. I don't think we could do it without underwater hockey skills.